Let's get ready to rumble!
ZingerNation Impact show today. Peloton of 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We have Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today.
Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies.
Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Aperna.
The best trade idea resource out there. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday?
Hump day!
It's hump day, baby. Let's go. Holy crap, it's already Wednesday. Hump day, my favorite day of the week. We are rocking and rolling. Shout out to Stop Console Wars in the chat saying, let's get some breakouts. That's what I'm all about. First things first, let's start from the highest level possible. Let's talk about the small cap trade, baby. It's on. We talked about this earlier this week. We talked about it last week. I'm going to put my screen up here. Check it out. This is ticker IWM, India Whiskey Mike, Russell 2000 ETF that tracks the Russell 2000. Those are the small cap stocks. And again, we have another day of outperformance versus the S&P 500. Here's a 1-year chart with daily candles. We go ahead and we zoom that in. Small caps are ripping. So here's what we talked about. If we look at the high that was made in the small caps, it was all the way back in March. Towards this bottom here, small caps were 9% off of their high. Well, at the same time, the S&P 500, those are the big U.S. stocks, all-time highs every single week. And so the small cap trade that we talked about, and I have reflected in my portfolio, is I cleared out some of the individual names, decreased some of that individual name risk, and then overweighting the small cap ETF, the index, just the small caps generally, with the thesis being is that they will come to parity. Either SPY's coming down or the small caps are going up. And once again, we have another day. This is the fourth day in a row where small caps are outperforming the large caps at the high of the day. I like that. I am letting it ride. I'm going to drop this one out to the chat, guys. If you had to pick one or the other, small cap or large cap stocks right now to own, and let's say we're thinking about this like a swing trade. This isn't a 10-year hold. We're talking swing trades right now. But if you had to pick it one way or another, one, if you would hit the small caps, two, if you would hit the large caps. I'm curious where everybody is at. And now that I've gone through my opening monologue, soliloquy, whatever you want to call it, I want to remind everybody that this is the Power Hour. Smash that like button, share the stream. This is the Trade Idea Show. That is what we're going for. That's why we spend these 60 minutes together every single day. We are absolutely going to talk some of the hot stocks today. On our list, we have GameStop, AMC. I saw somebody throwing a Bed Bath & Beyond. We'll hit that one too. And we're specifically going to be doing it with Options Mike. When is Options Mike joining the show, producer AB?
12:20. I just got word from him. He's good to go at 12:20. So here in about 16 minutes, Options Mike will be joining us. We'll be looking at different contracts for both AMC, GME, as well as other stocks, seeing how he's trading them, seeing what's the smart way to be trading these options, and not just buying YOLO calls like I would be doing.
All right, which hey, everybody needs a little bit of YOLO call action in their lives. Maybe not everybody. I know that I do. Okay.
I agree. I mean,
do some irresponsible things on this show, but that's the deal.
By the way, right, Luke, do we have any
Roblox fan in the chat? And we got a lot of love for the small cap stocks. I'm feeling it.
Do we have any update on? I know we had the we unveiled the Trump ring the other day from Wish, but do we have any updates on when the other products are coming?
We may have gotten the other Wish.com product. We can't talk about Wish.com without pulling up the chart. Still a dog. But we may have gotten the other Wish.com product. Should we schedule in either Thursday or Friday doing our reveal of our $2 Wish.com order?
Yeah, I mean, and then Luke, we also have, I mentioned my Alibaba order. Shout out Tiny Pie in the chat. So we're gonna see kind of who's the better shipper of products. Is it Wish.com? Is it Alibaba? I think Baba's been doing it a little bit longer than Wish, so they have an advantage as far as a track
God, this
record.
Baba chart is so ugly, isn't it?
Until
This
it's
is a
not.
2-year chart.
Yeah, I know. If you invested in
This is
Baba
1
like
year.
2 years ago, you're flat, which is insane because it ran all the way from 150 to 300 in
There's
the middle of.
5.
Sheesh.
All right, so that's the move there. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's preview GME just for a second here, and then we'll talk about the option side of things once option Mike hops on in about 15 minutes. But GameStop had its run yesterday. It gave me a little bit of pain because the last couple of weeks I've been talking, but I hadn't been doing. I've been saying GameStop looks decent at these levels. Even on a valuation basis, it looks decent at this level. And then also the kicker was that it had not had a run for a while. It had been a minute since GameStop had had a run. We've seen these runs before in the past. Yesterday was another one. And I speculated, hey, valuation looks okay. It's been a couple months since we've had a run. GME is probably due. And I talked and I didn't do. And so yesterday was the run. Got a nice tick up in shares. Right now we're trading a little bit below, pretty much flat with yesterday's close. I want to throw this one out to the group. Who's long GameStop right now? If you're long GME, drop the 1. If you're not long, drop the 2. There's no sitting on the sidelines, okay? This is ZingerNation. We're here to help each other out. We want to get a sense of where everyone is at. If you are long it, give the 1. If you are not in it, give the 2. Again, we're not sitting on the sidelines here. We want to get the sense as to where everybody is at on this name. So drop those votes in there. Where are you at, producer AB?
Well, Luke, my thing with GameStop right here is usually when we've seen a run like this, it's not just a 1 day, one and done thing. So I definitely have this on my watch list. I'm not trading it currently. But I want to see, if we see any signs that, hey, this can run again, if we can get back up to that $300 level. I think we're seeing that previous support act as resistance right now around the 220 level. We saw it get up to yesterday. But look, I mean, even if you hate the stock right now and you say, hey, this is way overvalued, I don't think it's smart to go out there and try to short it or do anything like that. So that's where I'm at.
You bring up a good observation, is that when these pops have happened, they haven't been 1 day runs. And these are daily candles that we're looking at, guys. Obviously, this was a multi-day run. This was a multi-day run. This was a multi-day run. Let's keep going. This was a 1 day. This is a pretty big green candle there. That was 1 day. This one was 1 day. This was a few days, a handful of days. So, yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point that when these runs have happened, they typically haven't been 1 day runs.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that shows that once, the run does happen, then more people, hear about it, get involved. They want to go out and buy it. So we didn't see GameStop start running until yesterday afternoon, about 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And so I think,
we just flipped green on the day, didn't we?
For a second.
It's
Candles
green. Okay. A little prophetic there, producer AB.
So I think let's keep an eye on this afternoon, Luke, because if it is showing signs, signs of strength, then I think we could easily see another run, if not today, tomorrow. But again, I'm on the sideline here, so I'm not saying, oh, everyone go out and rush and buy this right now. But yeah, some other small cap stock, or not other, there are small cap stocks out there that have been doing well the past couple of days as well.
Do you have any particular names you want to throw out?
I mean, my all-time favorite stock is Build-A-Bear Workshop. That stock has been strong for the past week, I want to say. 2 weeks.
Which one?
Build-A-Bear Workshop, ticker BBW.
BBW, all right.
BBW, yeah. Was trading at about $14 a week ago, up to 16.5 right now. So been a nice little 15% gainer over the past 5 trading days.
Was there news on this one?
No, I think
No.
it gets looped into some of these other stocks that just kind of run for whatever reason, whether there's a reason out there or not. So when we saw some other stocks running, this was kind of a sympathy play, but retail in general, like mall stores in general, whether we're talking Macy's, whether we're talking Dillard's, have been very strong the past month or so.
All right, let's look at Macy's for a second. And then also, if we're talking small stocks that have been running, we got to look at support.com.
Yeah, we did
my second favorite stock that I love to hate. You know that. And let's also talk about the NFT trade as well.
Yeah, we brought that up yesterday. The one of the theses that we brought up yesterday is NFTs are selling for more than they were on the first wave, but the stocks aren't trading as high as they were. And holy cow, TCAT up another 40% today. So wow, that's some of these NFT stocks are just flying.
All right, we've got to should we just spend the time that we have between now and Option Mike coming on to make this NFT trade? I sort of want to in my account.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious because right now it looks like there are winners and losers in the NFT basket. If we look at Dolphin Entertainment, ticker DLPN, the stock is actually trading down today about 2.5%, while TCAT is up 42%.
All right, hold on. Let me log into it. You keep talking. Let me log into my brokerage account so that way I can build this basket.
Yeah, HOFV is up about 6%. So it seems like a mixed bag in the NFT stocks today. If anyone in the chat has any color about, why some stocks are moving against the grain with the other NFT stocks, let us know. And also let us know if you have a favorite out of the NFT stocks. We've mentioned DLPN, which is down today, HOFV, which is up about 7%. TCAT, of course, the big winner of the day, up more than 40%. Just broke through $10, was trading at about $11 earlier today, then came back down to $9.50 and then back up to 10. So I don't know, Luke. We're Master of Stonks is saying we should look at EDR. That's one we brought up yesterday. EDR is not in the NFT. Well, you never know. I mean,
is it an NFT stock?
No. It's the UFC stock. But with that being said,
Endeavor.
I could see.
Well, yeah, we're waiting on Endeavor until we can get the CEO on with us.
Yeah,
so then that's the move. We reached out yesterday,
and we're gonna need to do a deep dive into the financials so we can ask the CEO some kind of hard hitting questions on the financials, see if there's anything going on there. But yeah, I mean, I could see Endeavor getting into NFTs at some point. They own the rights for UFC, so if you want to buy a knockout. You want to buy Dustin or you want to buy the clip of Conor McGregor breaking his leg and own it as an NFT. That'd be pretty cool, actually, Luke.
That'd be pretty cool. So, all right, here's the live brokerage account. Everybody drop those NFT stocks. Oh, we already have them.
Mark M helped us Playboy, PLBY, HOFV, Hall of Fame Resorts, FNKO.
Funko.
Let's see.
There's more. DLPN you already mentioned. Is DLPN you said hadn't moved yet?
DLPN's down today, and all these other stocks. I mean, Funko is up about 7%.
I'm loving some Dolphin down today.
All these. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing, Luke. Is Playboy.
OCG is another one.
Yeah, Playboy is up about 7.5%, the same as Funko. So there are some stocks that are and the same as HOFV. They're all up about 7% today. So those are trading in line. And then TCAT is by far the outperformer, up about 40%. And Dolphin, as far as I can see, is the laggard. So
all right. So give me the tickers. We're just hitting these live right now. So Dolphin, we're taking long. We already said that one.
But I don't know, because in my mind, I think Dolphin's showing some like relative weakness here. The rest of the industry is trading up, but Dolphin's down. There's got to be a reason for that.
I'm gonna add Funko. Yeah, but I'm not gonna figure that out. I'm doing equal slices of each of these, and I'm buying a basket for a reason. I'm not picking the individual names. I want the ones that are trading out of line with the TCAT.
Liquid Media Group, ticker YVR.
Yes, that's that. There we go.
Yahoo, Victor, Romeo.
Those stocks are way more of NFT plays than there we go. Those stocks are way more of NFT plays than like a Playboy. All right, keep going, AB.
So wait, you've hit Dolphin
I hit Dolphin.
and Liquid. Those are the only two
And
we've
I
hit
hit
so far.
YVR. I hit FNKO.
Okay, so let's hit. Do we want to? I don't know if we want to buy TCAT now. Up already 40%
I'm not
today.
adding TCAT.
We're not adding
because that's against the thesis. The thesis is when one of them gets to running, I'm hopeful that the others will follow.
All right, so let's wrap it up with HOFV.
Which is not really a pure play NFT. Stock.
Not pure, but
Fine. We're hitting it. We're just buying $1,000 slices of each of them. We're building a little bit of a basket. This is absolutely a swing trade. Anybody else?
JFIN's
any
another
good-
one.
Which one?
JFIN. It's a I believe like a Asian. Yeah, it's headquartered in China. Ticker JFIN.
Let me see what the Benzinga news desk. What about OCG? Oh, that was absolutely one of those. Yes, look at this. This is the action I'm looking for.
Yeah, and
I'm
we
hitting
saw
OCG as my last one.
Okay, we saw OCG get all the way up to $14 back in March on the first NFT run. Currently trading at $4.74. So I like this one too, OCG.
And we're gonna stop out of this trade quickly, right? This is a trade where we'll stop out of it quickly. And I mean, hopefully it's a quick run. We obviously you don't know. But again, the idea is that NFTs are taking off. We've seen the first NFT stock hit blast off. Is the rest of the pack that went wild in March going to follow suit? That's the question, and it remains to be determined.
And along those lines, Luke, I mean, while we're doing this, we might as well take a look at Ethereum or stocks that are, specifically related to Ethereum, because of course, ETH is what's running the NFTs behind the scenes. It's not Bitcoin. It's not Dogecoin. It's Ethereum. So there are a few stocks that you can get exposure to Ethereum with. I'm going to pull up a list of those. If anyone has any good Ethereum stocks in the chat, I know Hive Blockchain is one ticker.
Is Hive a miner?
They are, and they specifically do something with Ethereum.
Stock. There we go.
If anyone has any favorite Ethereum plays in the chat. Oh, Options Mike actually just dropped this one. Ticker ETHE.
Was that the grayscale? Yep, it is.
So that could be interesting, I think, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, if you want this is if you want exposure to Ethereum. Because this more or less tracks the price of Ethereum, I believe.
Right. I mean, you can buy this or you can go out and buy actual Ethereum, and there's not going to be much difference in the returns. But so that's why it might be a little more exciting to buy some of the miners or even a brokerage like Voyager, because you can get higher returns than if you just go out and buy the actual crypto.
Voyager hanging out. Okay, boring day. All right, producer AB. So there's the NFT trade. We bought a basket. We added 5 stocks. Again, the thesis is NFTs have taken off. We saw the first NFT stock get blast off. We have not seen the rest of it follow. So we'll see what happens. I'll read off the tickers one more time, then I'll paste them in the chat. But you've got Dolphin, DLPN. You have Liquid Media, YVR, Funko, FNKO. OCG, which is Oriental Culture Holding, OCG, and Hall of Fame Resorts ticker HOFV. Funko and HOFV are definitely not like pure play NFT stocks. I don't know if anything's really a pure play NFT stocks, but they definitely are the least associated out of the group. But I'm just going to drop these in here.
Yeah, and Options Mike has given us some more color. DraftKings, obviously not a pure NFT play, but the company is getting into some sort of NFTs. Yeah, and Luke, even TCAT, which is up 40% today, is nowhere near its highs back in March. The stock was trading more above $50 back in March, currently at 10.17. So
and that's why you got to cut your losers, right? If you're still bag holding this one, I mean, how many 40% days in a row do you need? Think about it like this, right? If you own a stock and it falls by 50%, you need 100% day to get back to break even. You don't need a 50% day to get back to break even. You need 100% move to get back to break even.
Yeah, and they were definitely
this thing was that high.
They were definitely people that wow, we have it over 70. I was looking on
there's a daily candles, baby.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. Google Finance does not have it.
You're looking at a line chart. That's the beauty of candle charts is it gives you that little bit more detail.
Right.
Intraday high north of 70. It looks like the highest close was in the high 50s.
Right. There were definitely people that went out and bought it, higher than 50, up at 70, and just got wrecked on it. So, yep, lesson learned. Implement the stop losses. All right, Luke, I do see Options Mike hanging out. We are going to get into some AMC, GME, GameStop, AMC Options. Any other stocks, Luke, that you want Mike and I to go through on the options chain?
See, I like when Option Mike leads the symbol. He's pretty smart.
Okay. that's a lesson right there, Luke. That
know who to trust.
Exactly. Know who to go to for certain info. If I know what I need to go to Jason for. I know what I need to go to Luke for. I know when I need to, bring someone else in that knows more about something than I do.
Yep, there we go. So, all right, guys, smash that like, share the stream. Let's get Options Mike on here.
All right. Without further ado, y'all, bring it on, Options Mike. Mike, how we doing?
Hey, B, man, how goes it today?
Hey, happy Wednesday, happy hump day.
Oh,
I'm ready to get into these options, man. I mean, this market's been choppy for options for the past month or so, but I'm starting to see signs that like some good setups might be happening.
August started off with a bang for me. Great first week or so of it. Then, made money, but small for the rest of the month. It was very tough. And this last week, man, since about last Thursday, just boom, boom, boom. Even this morning, you pick your name, NVIDIA, BABA, yesterday, AMC, the meme stocks took off, just the markets in general. So yeah, the market's alive and going into the end of summer. And that's a great thing.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking, it's every single day. It seems like we're saying S&P hits new all-time highs. Of course, the past couple days, we've seen the IWN and small caps kind of be making some moves too. So that's good to see that those haven't just been, dead in the water like they have been all summer. But before we get to, AMC or GameStop, I want to see what else is kind of on your watch list. I think, did you say you were trading some DraftKings?
I traded DraftKings today. I'm not in it anymore today. But, look at this 2-day candle in the break of the 55 area on the daily chart. And you can see this, the big move out finally took this area out with volume, right? Look at and again, I always tell everybody, look at volume. Look at the last 2 days, above average volume. It's telling you it's in it. They were all over the weekly 60 calls. I traded those this morning. I didn't stay long enough, but they weren't moving good. And weekly options right now are tough. The way they're jerking names around a little bit, you're better off going out in time. But so here you are on DraftKings coming into another high and moving up into what is considered to be a seasonally strong time of year. As starting next week, we get college football back, and then the NFL is back the week after that. And, a lot of sports betting goes on with that. And to tie into your last segment, they're doing NFT stuff as well now.
Yeah, and I think I like your approach, Mike, because it's interesting that you're able to, I feel like we have a lot of traders that come on that are purely technical or they're purely fundamental, but you're able to kind of look at the news, say, hey, this could be a good seasonal play, but then also seeing, what the charts are doing.
Yeah, and you look at the charts, and then you also look at volume. And one thing we always stress is volume. If the volume's not there, it could have a hard time. Like I will admit, I took a loss on Apple yesterday. I love the setup on the daily chart, right? And it had flow all over the weekly 152, 155 calls yesterday, but if you look at the volume, it's just not there. And it couldn't break free. It came back in, right? Tried it. Not every trade works, guys, right? Not every trade is going to work. And here it is down today. So the thing to do is, you get out of it. You don't just sit in it just because you like the setup. Wasn't working, cut it off on a 20 cents loss on options. And, so not every setup is working right now like we want them to. Apple's still in digestive mode. When you see it take out 150 and you see big volume on it, that'll be the cue. It's ready to rock.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that as far with Apple, the volume is really interesting because, I mean, look, Mike, what investors don't have Apple in their portfolio, right? So at that point, a stock that everyone already has, the only thing people can really do is sell it. So people, obviously people do come in and buy it on dips and stuff, but yeah, another stock that I was looking at as far as the volume on was BABA, and we saw a lot of I think 4 times the normal volume on BABA come in when the stock did drop below $160. And I'm keeping my eyes on this because I think if we continue to see more volume coming in and we see some kind of soaking per se or some consolidation, it could look very interesting. Of course, the chart overall looks very ugly. We were talking about it earlier.
Still hideous.
Still hideous.
I got to give credit. So on Monday night, one of my traders in my room, Chris, great guy, called out that BABA was ramping up into the close. So, and then I looked at the volume and just look at the volume. That volume is more than earnings for the last 3 earnings. So it had massive volume on a hammer candle developing. So we all decided in the room, most of us anyway, to go home long BABA. Some people took straight calls. I did a 170 by 175 call spread. And, we got what we were looking for, that massive gap up yesterday. And, that was it. And, took my profits and got out. And here it is today, weak again, going back into the gap it created yesterday. So for me, I'm cautious on these China names still because I don't think China's done messing with these companies yet. I still think China's out there. They're not quite done with it. But, at some point, they become a screaming buy. What you'd like to see is you would have liked to see this bottom hold. And we'll watch to see if it fills this gap and holds it. That would be a good sign. Maybe a lower low, a higher low here, right? A little W formation would be another thing to look for.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, I'm not in this one currently. I actually was holding some swing calls on BABA that I sold on Monday before the big move yesterday. So I missed out on all my I had like a 10% gain on them, but if I would have held on to them yesterday, they were up about like 80%. I checked, which that's the worst is when you sell some contracts and you're going back to look at the same contracts to see how much they're worth now. But yeah, so
don't do that.
I know. Anything else you're looking at right now before we get to AMC and GameStop?
Well, just before I came on, they started buying a ton of these Love October 55 calls. Almost 11,000 of them just came in.
October
55s. Okay.
Are there multiple contract expirations in October or just one?
Just the monthly October. Okay. So when I say October, if it's a week, I'll put the date on it. Otherwise, I'll call it the October. If I say October, for me, that is the monthly expiration.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know if my my broker has those. I mean, there's always a specific date for the expiration.
So what's interesting to me is this stock has been beaten up now for a while and down. And if the Delta variant is running its course, which I think it is starting to run its course here in this country. Does this push up? It's up above the 50-day for the first time, and it's at this key level, this 52 area. That's an interesting buy. That would bring it back above the 200-day, which would be a great sign for the airlines. So if you like the airlines, this is something to take a look at. Maybe take a look at it. Maybe do something small because, they've been a tough trade lately. The airlines and the whole reopen play hasn't been so good. But that caught my attention because of the size. They kept coming after them, 11,000 of them, and nice orders, a couple thousand at a time, not little tiny orders.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great way to kind of get trade ideas, especially for options, as you see what the bigger players are doing. And a lot of the times, you can just make the judgment call that, look, if someone's buying this many contracts of it, that they have a very good sentiment of what the stock's going to do. Yeah,
I agree. Or they think they know something.
Or they're hedging a different position they have.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of staying away from the airlines have been strong the past couple days. But I just think with all the fear regarding, Delta variant and all this, but I mean, look, I think Warren Buffett said it where he's like, where everyone else is scared, I'm greedy. When everyone else is greedy, I'm scared. So I think there's buying opportunities here. That's just why I've been personally on the sideline on some of these airline stocks.
Again, if you're looking for a reason to get into it, the stock is bounced. It's right above the 50-day here. If it takes out 52, you know you have a big options player setting up in it. So it's giving you a couple reasons to take a look at it. And that's what I'm always looking for, more than one reason, right? Looking for multiple reasons to get into something. Technical, fundamentals, option flow, volume. Give me reasons. The more reasons, the better.
Well, what about along those lines? Have you been looking at Boeing at all? Ticker BA?
I have been avoiding Boeing. Boeing, to me, has become one of the tougher names to trade in this market ever since unfortunately, the crashes that took place and everything with the MAX. And it just trades so sloppy. And, it likes to gap now, and it trades so much on news. I almost never trade this. Even on days when there's news, I very rarely trade this one anymore. And I used to love this name, made a ton trading this over and over again. But this year, it's just been a different trade, and it remains weak. It's under all the moving averages, except for the 8-day, which it just retook today. And I don't know. I just don't have a strong feel for this name.
Got it. So let's see. We talked Love. We talked Boeing. Are there other, companies in the industry that you're looking at, or?
I mean, right now, I'm mostly in cash right now. Day trading today, like today, I traded Nvidia on the open, had a nice win there, and DraftKings. I'm kind of been watching the action. We're seeing a little bit of change in the action today, and if you look what's going on, TLT, we have bonds are coming in hard today, and you have this bond selling off, and you have a little bit of a spike in interest rates on the 10-year, which is really not much. But what it's doing is it's running the banks today, and here's your banks just shy of an all-time high. And you see the IWM raging up with it back above the 50-day now for the first time in months. And meanwhile, the Qs are just doing next to nothing, right? They're kind of just chilling out. So you're seeing a rotation day. We do have the Jackson Hole Symposium with the Fed and the World Banks starting tomorrow. And then obviously the main event there is Powell at 10 o'clock on Friday morning going to make his speech. So maybe you're seeing some front running of this, hoping he's going to be very dovish. Unclear what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much.
Hawkish.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much uncertainty right now. I've been kind of watching the VIX because I anticipated the VIX moving more than it did when we had all the news, not only with the Delta variant, but also what's going on geopolitically in Afghanistan and whatnot. And it did spike up for like a day and then just came crashing back down.
VIX has been a really tough trade lately. And, something I pointed out to everybody in the room, if you look at these last 4 sell-offs, and here's 3 of them on the SPY, all of them have occurred on OPEX week for the monthly options expiration. It's the same games we've seen now 4 months in a row. They come in, they decide to sell it off into OPEX and then buy it back just beforehand.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's hard to get short this market until we get an actual break for me of the 50-day. You can do cute shorts, but until the SPY breaks the 50-day, which has been support since the November election, what's the point?
So what about with the market being so strong and not showing any signs of reversal? Like, would you, consider playing anything just like buying weekly SPY calls, like week over week, like rolling them over?
You can do it. The problem is it's not getting a lot of movement right now. Weekly options, they decay so fast, right? So if they're not working, they're decaying rapidly. They're working against you. I was trading Nvidia options yesterday, and I got out for some a small win on the last one because it just wasn't moving. It took forever. It's that 5-minute chart where you get this chop back and forth. And so, if you're trading options right now, weekly is probably not the best. Give it a little extra week or so. It gives you the gift of time, and time is something that allows the option to work. You don't have as much theta decay, right? The weekly theta decay on these names is huge. So I would try to roll out a week, 2 weeks, or even 3 weeks at this point and try to let these work for you.
Yeah, I was actually watching the NVIDIA weekly contracts yesterday as well, and it was crazy how quickly the price of the contracts appreciate from the stock basically not moving for like an hour.
Right.
It's like you need it to move. If you're buying weekly options, you need the stock to be moving now. Otherwise, you're losing money. I mean, even if you get the move you're looking for, but it happens over a 3-day period instead of the 1-day period, you're just getting crushed on them.
Right. So here it was on Monday, right? Look at Nvidia. Like it popped up here and then it just chopped around before it really took off later in the day. And I was in the 220 calls, which I would have made a lot more money if I held them. But through here, they were red. I bought them right into here, right around the 214 area. When it was 217, they were at break even. that tells you the power of decay that was going on there on the weekly options. It just wasn't moving fast enough for them to work.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love NVIDIA. Like, as far as a long-term stock, it's in my long-term portfolio. It's one of my favorite stocks to just buy and hold. But I found it very hard to trade on. I guess recently it's been so strong that you could just be buying calls, like months out and be looking good. But
it's all-time highs today, AB, right? Beautiful move from earnings, right? Earnings was weak, and then it reversed during the day on it and powered up, and now you have this beautiful move to all-time highs. And this is the name that just did the reverse split, so it's already working its way back up, not wasting any time.
Wait, was it no? I don't think it was
a stock split. 4 for 1 stock split.
Right, and then what was interesting with the earnings is the earnings came out after hours a couple weeks ago, and the stock didn't seem like it knew what it wanted to do off of it. It actually opened down the next day, and then ended up up 3 to 4% that day.
Yeah, because people looked at the earnings report and said, it was okay. But when you looked at it, if you looked at their data center in the cloud, that was really coming on. And that's what's driving their profits right now. Everybody thinks their graphics card, which are great, but it's the more and more they get people into the data center and into their cloud space, that's where their real money is.
Yeah, and speaking of that, one stock I've been watching is Microsoft, which, of course, that's the same kind of thesis has been driving a lot of the gains in Microsoft for the past really couple years. And so this one becomes interesting to me to trade. I think looking at the chart right here is we see a couple red candles in a row, and I could see it moving back down toward those averages. But if it does, then I think, looking for a bounce off there wouldn't be a bad play.
I mean, you got to love Microsoft long term. And this name has been on fuego now for the last year plus, since the pandemic, right? It's been one of the leaders. So popped up here on this 2-day pop on news. They're raising the rates for Office. For everybody that uses Office, they're raising that up. That's a huge piece of their business. So that's great for them. That's also in their cloud space, right? Everything is online now. They don't actually give the software out. And you look at this and say, if it takes out 305.84, it's all-time highs. For me, if it holds the 8-day, that would be a place to try it. Right now, it's just kind of digesting. And I mean, some people forget that, after a big move and it gets a little extended up here, sometimes the names need to go sideways for a bit, absorb the move, relax for a little bit before they get ready to go again. Yeah,
100%. I agree. And then, Microsoft. I've also been looking at Facebook a little. I want to see what you think about Facebook right here.
So they were all over the weekly 370 calls today. And so, Facebook here is interesting to me. It's become a very tough trader intraday. It tends to pop and yank, and if you chase the pops, it tends to pull in your face on the 5. But you have this gap from earnings they're pushed into. It started at 365.52. You can see we're pushing into it today, and it goes all the way to the close of that candle. That closes 373.28. So it's trying to fill that gap. What's interesting to me is that, they came out and they were very aggressively warning about the rest of this year and how, they're going to see a slowing of growth and a huge increases in expenses. They warned multiple times on that call, yet it's getting bought back. And that, to me, that just shows the resiliency or the just don't care about fundamentals of this market, pick whichever one you want, that we're buying back weak names no matter what. Even names that are guiding down or warning, we're buying them back. And that shows a very strong market right now and still an appetite for risk.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of in line with what a lot of the bigger FANG companies are doing, is they're just trying to, tamper expectations going forward. I mean, whether you're Amazon, Apple, Netflix, you can't have investors expecting the type of growth that those companies had during COVID because it's just unsustainable.
Agreed. And speaking of Netflix, they had a horrific earnings report, right? And not only did they miss on earnings, they guided down big on subscribers, and that they're buying this back up above where they were on earnings day now. And again, it just shows you how this market kind of works right now, despite the fact that they had a bad report, that they really, by doing that big buyback not last report, the one before, they're basically saying we're no longer a growth company. We're becoming more of just a stable company. But people are buying it, still thinking they're going to see the growth. We'll see. This will be a big quarter for them, the next one in October.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. I mean, I think we've seen, kind of similar transition with a company like Apple, who had been a growth stock for so long. And now it's like, this is a value stock. Like, they have so much money on the balance sheet. I mean, you have the most famed value investor ever, Warren Buffett. I think Apple is still his biggest holding.
It is. He didn't sell any of it last. I don't think in the last quarter.
Right. So you don't have, growth investors like Cathie Wood or whoever going out and rushing to buy Apple. You have Warren Buffett, the biggest value investor. It just shows the strength of the company. And I kind of see, I hear you on the Netflix. I kind of see Facebook coming into that same type of company. And what impresses me most, Mike, about Facebook's company right now is the Oculus portion of the company. I think the valuation for just the Oculus arm alone is going to be worth a ton of money going forward.
See, I haven't seen that really selling yet, but I see the application for it, not for people like us at home, right? I see the application for that in businesses and manipulating stuff with their hands and looking at stuff and doing models and stuff. And I think there'll be a big application for that. I just don't know if it's there yet, AB. I think it's still a couple years away from going mainstream, but maybe I'm wrong. I probably need to do a lot more research on that.
No, 100%. And I'm not saying that I think the value is coming from that. I think down the road, it could be, because what we've seen with what Facebook has been doing is they've reallocated a lot of the company's resources to the Oculus department. Like, they're spending a ridiculous amount of their money in R&D in the Oculus department specifically. So they're basically making a bet saying, all right, we're going to take employees from Facebook and from Instagram and from WhatsApp and bring them to Oculus, because this is what we want to focus on as a potential. So that part of it is very much, growth oriented right now. But down the road, if Facebook's just making money hand over foot by selling Oculuses, then that becomes the value play.
It does. I just temper that with they've yet to have a hardware product that's been successful. Remember their phone?
Yes, I do. That's a good. You make a good point, and that's what before you came on, Luke and I were talking about. We like to, bring people in that know more about that we do in certain areas. So always. Well, Mike, real quick, let's go over some AMC GameStop options.
Let's start with GameStop, man.
All right, start with GameStop.
All right, so I want to point this out. We had, yesterday was kind of a weird day. We had that beautiful bump on the open on the China names, and then things went quiet. And this is GameStop 5-minute chart, last 2 days. And see through here yesterday, all morning long, 39,000 of the, I think it was the September 35 puts were coming in 1,000 lots. And I kept looking at this going, and they're 7 cents. They're cheap. I'm like, well, somebody's loading up on puts on this name. And then all of a sudden around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just as I'm getting ready to take a break, everything starts to break loose and flow just starts pouring into GameStop. It starts pouring into AMC and Wish and Clove. And you pick the meme name, they were on it, Rocket, right? And you see this huge move as we start to spike up, and we move all the way up to 225. I mean, we haven't seen GameStop move like this in a while. That was a $50 move in a couple hours on GameStop. By the way, if you're trading a name like this and you're trading it, the first thing you need to do is always go in and look at the IV. What happened on GameStop here is the implied volatility on the weekly options went from around 120% to over 300% yesterday. At that point, the market makers are saying, come on, buy calls, buy puts. We're going to have a blast with you, because when this stops moving, we're going to crank that IV down, and guess what? You're going to get killed. So what you have to do is you have to look at this and say, what do I do? When you see these big 5-minute candles like this pushing up, and you start seeing a candle push and come in like this, you don't want to be chasing up here. You want to be getting out. You want to be selling into a big 10-minute candle spike like this, not chasing it, and then see if it reloads, which it kind of did and didn't do. So they were all over. I mean, you pick it. The 200s were the one that really got lit up yesterday early. So it was great, because for about 45 minutes, I was just calling nothing but options flow on AMC, Wish, GME, all these meme names. And it was just nonstop, sweep after sweep after sweep into these names, and everybody was making money. So nice move here. If you look at what's going on now in the daily, I have 240.72. This is an old line I've had here, because this candle to me is the control candle. You see this candle from back on the 11th of June? It has to take that candle out now to get it going. Because after the pullback, that was the candle it could not get above.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were hanging out earlier when Luke and I were talking about it, but something that I pointed out was just that in the past we haven't really seen a lot of these moves be 1-day moves. So I that's what I was kind of watching, and it's not to say that yesterday's move couldn't be a 1-day move, because obviously it can be, but I was just like watching for signs that, okay, this could run again for a second consecutive day, because that's what's happened in the past with GameStop.
It has. Today, what it did is, you notice it ran right up to yesterday's high and stopped and pulled back. Now, that doesn't mean it's game over, because it's not even 1 o'clock. We know they came yesterday afternoon. It was late afternoon when they started coming for these. What I thought was interesting is AMC did exactly the same thing today. Ran right up to yesterday's high and basically stopped. We saw Clove do the same exact thing as well. So, basically all these names that they were been playing with, right, they all kind of did similar type stuff. They ran up and they couldn't push through. Now, here's where AMC gets really interesting today. AMC, before it started to pop today, so let's go back to our 5-minute chart. Down in here, you see this big candle right here?
Yep.
All right. When that started to go, just before that, we started seeing massive put calls come into it, the October 45s. And within about a space of, you can see here, within a space of a couple minutes, $4 million worth of premium came into this. And these were bought, right? I was like, looking carefully to make sure these weren't being sold to open or something. These were being bought. So somebody big, this is not retail. This is not the Wall Street bets guys. I love you guys. Appreciate the money I made on AMC yesterday. But this was some big fund. Maybe Melvin Capital's back. He hasn't had enough pain yet. I don't know. Coming back in here to try to get in. But right, we saw somebody big coming in. And last I saw, let me look right now for you, there was over 8,000 of those that have been put in. The October 45 puts, where are they? I can't find them right now. There they are. Nope. Of course, when you try to go look at something, your scanner decides to move all over the place and make your life miserable.
Always.
13,000 of them traded now. So we'll check that tomorrow to see how many of those stuck.
So you're still seeing the volume for calls coming in outweighing the puts?
Yeah, the volume for calls is still way outweighing the puts, but the dollar value for puts is way outweighing the dollar value of calls.
So yeah, that's what you think that there might be some like big hedge funds, whoever they may be, coming in and buying these puts, whereas the volume for the amount of trades, so a lot of smaller investors, like retail investors, going out and buying the calls.
Right. So you can see it has 158% average daily volume. So the volume's in here today. So right now, if you're trading this, you needed to take out yesterday's high. Takes that out, then it can go. And then you have, you look for a room to move up to 50, where there's been a lot of flow in the weekly 50 calls and all up and down. God, we were even seeing some $145 calls going off in this thing for December.
100 and what?
$145 calls. I mean, some absolutely ludicrous buying going this. But if it pushes above, then you would look for a move to 50 and then probably up towards the 60 area. That would be the big spot to watch.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for anyone out there, that's good advice. If you're watching GameStop and AMC today, if watch and see, make sure that the stocks can reach those highs from yesterday, and not only reach them, but break through them. And then if they do, they have room to run. It seems though that the highs from yesterday could be acting as some form of resistance today.
Right. And another little trick on these is when you look at it, I trade AMC and stuff mostly with stock because of the implied volatility. It's died off a little bit from this morning, but it hit 350% this morning. So, when I see that, I'd rather take stock because, if it pulls and they pull the IV, you're getting a double hit as it's coming in, right? You get double hit coming in on that. The other thing you can do to offset that is you can do a call spread. So if you really want to be an AMC and you really want to let it run, you can do like a 250 by a 255 call spread. And then this way, if the IV drops, it's dropping on both strikes. It's not hurting you as bad, and you're reducing your risk. You're also reducing the amount of money you can make. But everything comes with, push or pull. What do you want? Do you want absolute going to the moon? Well, then just buy the calls and hold your fingers.
Right.
And another tip I would give everybody is when you see it approaching yesterday's high, if you see a huge spike on the 5-minute, it goes 3 or 4 big candles and it's getting to it, don't buy there. Because typically, if it's run a lot to get to a resistance spot, it's going to hit it, pull back, and consolidate before going through it. So, like here, you can see how far it was off the 8 EMA and the 5. It was due for a little bit of a rest. Now it's consolidating down here. Now we'll see if it wants to go this afternoon.
Got it. All right, Mike. Well, we appreciate you coming on today, going through some of these options. We got SWW in the chat saying he sold some AMC January 22, 145 covered calls for 6,000.
There you go.
Yeah, lots of good ways to trade these options. Let us know in the chat if you are trading them or if you're just looking at them. But Mike, yeah, we'll get you on again. Let's see, today's already Wednesday. I was going to say maybe later this week to check in on some of these option, the option flow, but maybe early next week. We'll see kind of how they played out.
Sounds good.
All right, Mike, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thank you again for coming on.
Thanks, AB. Bye, guys.
Peace. And then I got options, Mike Twitter in the description. So if you guys want to go follow him for some more options information, it is in the description at Options Mike. A lot of good info coming out of him. And then real quick, we're going to do a nice little crypto update to wrap up the show. I'm going to bring on my good friend, Catherine Ross. As long as she's ready, I'm going to look for a little thumbs up, a sign that she's ready to come on. She's ready. So let's bring her on. Catherine,
Hi.
how we doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
I am good. Just following all this madness with AMC GameStop. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about crypto.
Yeah, so crypto is not as crazy as what you just saw with the stock market. It is fluctuating a little bit, but we saw worst. So let's just dive right into. Could you please show the heat map from Benzinga? And while you are showing it, I'm going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Again, it's not at its highest and a little bit lower than we saw on Monday. Yeah, I think on Monday. And a lot of analysts believe that we're going to see 40. Yeah, okay, it's pretty green though. That we're going to see still Bitcoin taking place at 40K or 40,600 before Bitcoin bulls will take back control. So obviously it's a little bit of a rebound that we're seeing right now. Our favorite pop-ups. But according to analysts who's based in the Netherlands, we're going to see a resistance level at 44K. So 51K that we almost saw this weekend, it's actually a top key for a long resistance zone, but it's not going to happen yet, unfortunately. So yeah, be very careful. And then if you're looking at the rest of the market, they are a little bit greener than when I was preparing for that, but still, let's talk about Solana and ADA. So Solana SOL, ADA is Cardano. Obviously, you just Solana, right? So we talked a little bit about Solana. It's a it's a very famous project, and it saw $81 as its highest point ever earlier this week. It is not at its highest right now, right? But Cardano as well actually saw on Monday the highest price ever, $2.97. And if you compare it to Bitcoin, they are actually gaining a lot more in percentage, right? So Bitcoin only gained okay, so I lost my thought. Yeah, so so they are registering new all-time highs, while we saw a little bit Bitcoin doing a little bit more successful in May. And Ethereum is considered to be something that is, has been around for a while, and it has been doing pretty well, especially after London hard fork that took place a couple of weeks ago, and that was aimed to improve scalability and to lower transaction fees a little bit. But judging by the on-chain data, it might be that we see right now, whales might be possibly looking to take profits. So yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen with the crypto market. It is fluctuating a little bit, but we saw worst and our best at crypto markets. So I think,
I was going to say, I see a couple of comments coming in. Tiny Pie, shout out Tiny Pie, is saying he's kicking himself for not getting into Cardano months ago when you were talking about it. Kaidir is asking, where is that? It's dark outside.
Oh, it's Moscow.
Beautiful Moscow. So Solana, Rudy, we just touched on Solana. But yeah, so Catherine, what I'm curious about is, so we've seen some of these altcoins, like you said, surpass. I mean, I guess if you want to consider Cardano and altcoin, I mean, they're bigger projects, but they're still not, the big three or the big, Bitcoin or Ethereum. So is that a sign of strength to you that the coins are able to surpass their previous highs while Bitcoin and Ethereum haven't quite surpassed their previous highs?
Yeah, the idea is actually that I think the crypto market in general looks stronger when it doesn't correlate with Bitcoin price a lot, right? So what we saw in the past, whenever Bitcoin price goes up or down, the crypto market follows, right? And if we see different coins other than Bitcoin is actually strengthening their positions, I think it's actually very healthy. So we kind of diversify the crypto market. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good sign that the entire crypto market is actually getting stronger and more prominent in some way. Yeah, but Solana, yeah, I think someone asked about Solana. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting project. I want to touch a little bit about one more opinionated tweet, which is very interesting because, again, it's not investment advice. Be very careful, but a very prominent Twitter influencer. And I'm sorry that we talking about Twitter again, but again, it's one of the most major sources of news in the crypto space. So one of the most prominent figures in the crypto Twitter, Nina Wright. If you, Aaron, if you see this in the outline, you can actually show it. So she saw that you can become, again, not investment advice. This is very risky space. You can become millionaire this year if you hold these coins: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, Polkadot, Cardano, Polygon, and eLion. I've actually never heard of eLion, which is very interesting. It's trading at a price that I can't even pronounce right now. This is crazy. It has so many zeros. Yeah, I think I can share it with Aaron.
All right, I'm trying to. I have the doc pulled up on my. Oh, here I got it. I got her Twitter pulled up.
So this eLion, I've never heard about it. And it ranks. Sorry,
go ahead.
It ranks so low at CoinMarketCap. It's 3,772nd on CoinMarketCap. So this is the tweet. Yeah, this is the tweet that according to this crypto influencer.
Wait, here I found. Okay, you can become a millionaire this year if you hold these coins.
Yes, I wouldn't agree with that because last time we discussed that Bitcoin might go as high as 70K or 75K, depending on how it's gonna go with the current resistance level that we're gonna see, or resistance level at 51K that we are expecting. But yeah, it's just like interesting for me that I've never heard about this Elion cryptocurrency. The link is in the chat if you want to show it. And I think we have one more minute. I just want to touch a little bit that Facebook is actually considering to go into NFTs. On Monday, Visa has announced that it bought a CryptoPunk for 150K, which actually helped OpenSea got to the highest, I think one of the highest trading volume days, up to 69 million in trading volume in one day, which is pretty crazy. Now Facebook is saying that they are ready to, these are this is the CryptoPunk. It's actually female, so they kind of shown that they support female CryptoPunks. I think this is what it says. So Facebook, David Marcus, co-creator of Facebook cryptocurrency project, DM, I hope I pronounced it correctly. He said that we're definitely looking at the number of ways to get involved in the space because we think we are in a really good position to do so. They are going to implement Novi. I think it's pronounced Novi, crypto wallet. Later this year, it is being delayed a little bit because of the SEC consideration on it, but they are saying that they're going to be ready to implement option of buying NFTs in that wallet. And yeah, so I think it's pretty interesting. If Facebook is going to go into NFTs, then NFTs are definitely here to stay. I hate this phrase, but yeah. But this is Visa, right? Where
I'm gonna pull up the Facebook.
They talked about it on Bloomberg. It was a TV interview, so
yeah, here I got a Yahoo Finance article. Facebook considers building NFT features alongside digital wallet, and yeah, I think 100%. As we see more and more companies like Visa, Facebook get involved in NFTs, it will just continue to raise the prices.
Yeah, and again, OpenSea registered 69 million in trading volume in one day. So this is huge, actually, for NFTs. Even though it has been going down, the interest in NFTs has been going slightly down since Beeple's 69 million purchase of Beeple's 69 million digital art. I think it's the most appropriate description. But yeah, it has lowered the interest, but we are seeing that it's currently going up again.
Yeah, and we saw a kind of similar thing. Companies, of course, like Tesla and stuff, get involved with buying Bitcoin. It brings the prices up because the companies are more reputable than just an individual investor going out and buying them. All right, Catherine. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for the crypto update. We'll be back tomorrow on PowerHour with more news in the crypto industry, and that's the most exciting thing about the crypto industry is there's always news. There's always new developments, new projects, big price movements. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, y'all. That was Catherine Ross joining us live from Moscow. I'll drop her Twitter in the chat, so if you want to go follow her, get some more insights on crypto, you'll be able to follow her on Twitter. And right now, we do have to get over to Get Technical. We got an exciting guest coming on at 1:30 there. He will be talking about how he flipped an account from $3,000 all the way into $50,000. So pretty exciting stuff over at Get Technical. Do not go anywhere. This stream will automatically redirect you there. I know yesterday it did not, but today it will. Rest assured. And please, Crypto Morning Show, I just dropped her Twitter in the chat. It's at Ross Reports. So yeah, please do not go anywhere. We'll be hanging out and Get Technical. See you there.